Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast. This is Danny G alongside Jimmer and Rio today. And we had a hell of a Monday night football game. We've got some fun games coming up. Baseball is starting to get intense. A lot of shit going on. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the comments and follows, everything like that on the socials. We love that. Keep it up. And we're going to kick this day off with some news and notes. There's a lot going on all across sports right now. Jimmer, what's up?
All right. We have the 76ers suspended Ben Simmons for their season opener after spat in practice. Embiid says he's not here to babysit anybody. He got thrown out of practice by Doc Rivers.
Because he wouldn't participate.
Because he would not partake in a defensive drill. Yep. He said, go home. He dropped the ball and left.
So I don't get what his deal is, right? So you don't want to be there, obviously, right? Why the heck are you doing this crap? You're driving your trade value down.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to show up, whatever. Be at least part of the team in practice, because at least you're showing other teams who potentially may come and get you that, all right, I'm here, I'm participating, kind of trying to be a team player a little bit, right?
Right.
But this just saying no, not participating in a drill, like,
are you trading anyone away for this guy?
Exactly.
There was rumors that they wanted to pair him up with Damian Lillard. Like, in the offseason they were talking. It's rumors and shit like that, but why would the Blazers trade anybody away, even to say they can stay mediocre middle of the pack of the Western Conference with what they do have, for a guy that can't, what you're saying.
Right. Dame wouldn't put up with that shit.
Right, and you see how much of a cancer he's being in the locker room and to the team. And, so you're just driving you want out and you're driving your trade value down. It doesn't make any sense.
You know, maybe it does, Rio. You're bringing up a good point. Conspiracy theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Why would you do that? You're driving your trade value so far down, nobody's going to want to trade for you. Maybe he's trying to get them to just straight up drop him so he can pick where he wants to go.
So here's the thing, though. He just signed that, $134 million max?
So he showed up. So the reason why I don't believe that can be, I like the thought process. The reason why I don't think that can be is that's the reason why he showed up to practice, because he wasn't getting paid.
Right, he's got his money.
Yeah, they're not going to buy him out for a huge chunk of money. So, like, he's there to collect his money, and the only way he'd leave is a buyout. A buyout,
He's doing pretty good. At what point does Philly just say, fuck you, and be done with him? Maybe he's trying to push it. I don't think that's probably what's going on, but you're right. It makes no sense, right?
When you get suspended for contract detrimental to the team, they don't have to. I do believe you don't get paid for that. So all he's doing is literally hurting his pocketbook too.
Yeah.
Now. So now you're not with the team and you're not getting paid because of how you're acting. So it still isn't that. What were you saying about? You were saying something off air about his scouting report.
Oh yeah, his scouting report coming out of college apparently kind of listed some of these problems going on and attitude, character problems, and it's just showing right up.
Yep. Yeah. They're stuck. That's what I think they're stuck right now. I don't know. They were stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Their best bet right now is this right here. He keeps acting like this. You can keep suspending him and not paying him at least.
Kind of going on your conspiracy theory. I'll jump on that maybe. Maybe he's doing this to try to screw over the Sixers, drive that trade value down. So
he's not helping them too.
Right. So when somebody does come trade him, they have to give him like somebody crappy.
I don't know.
I don't think that's the case, but I just kind of wanted to input something.
I'm not saying that
one last fuck you.
Right.
I don't think that's the case.
That being said, the way you're doing it though, nobody wants to come trade for you for anything.
Right. Exactly. Nobody wants that in the locker room. So but I just want to kind of.
So I wonder if you're Philly, maybe to kind of cut your losses, you say, fine, we'll pay you, just fucking stay home. So we don't have to see this, so no other team has to see this. So we can keep your value as high as it is, whatever that is right now. And you just don't come fuck with the chemistry and make things worse. Like, in my opinion, if I was Philly, that's probably what I would do. Like, you're fucking with shit right now.
This has already been bad. You'd rather just take whatever you can get. Like, there's already plenty of stuff on videotape. There was stuff anyway. Teams have already seen it. I don't even think paying him is the best answer because now you're just rewarding somebody's shitty ass attitude and all that.
Right.
Not, like,
know,
you know
in
what?
the
I'd
end of the
rather
day, it's a
suspend you.
business. They won't do
Yeah.
that.
At the, you know what? They were the team that did the process of tanking to get these boys. They're not. I don't see them. Though they'd rather go this route as an ownership and Morey and them. They'd be like, you know what? We'd rather you keep doing this. We'll just keep extending the suspension longer and longer. We don't have to pay you. We keep you away from our team while they're trying to stay positive on the brand new season. I think they go that route more than anything else. They may not get anything in return, but you know what? He's done almost everything in his hands to make sure that you don't get anything. So why pay him?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even go through. I don't know. I just want to go through it.
Such a shitty situation. It doesn't matter, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't want the dude on my team anyway. Even
Yeah.
before all this, he couldn't shoot. At the end of the day, you need to be able to shoot in this league. I don't care.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. You got to have a point guard that can drive the lane. But I believe firmly you need a point guard that can, clock's running down, and he is a walking bucket, right? Either he can shoot at the three and get you, something like that, or he can drive the lane and get an and one.
At least respectable enough. Well, I think at least a respectable enough jumper to where they can't just play back.
Exactly.
With the expectation that you're going to drive the lane.
Yep.
You have to, because that athleticism doesn't mean, and how quick you are doesn't mean much if the dude can back up.
Right.
Because you can't shoot at all. Like then you're watching the freight train come towards you.
Right.
Okay, you can plan for that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, you know what, this dude can shoot. I need to get up here, and then he's gonna blow by you because of his athleticism.
Yeah.
Source says 6 schools officially apply to join the AAC: Florida Atlantic, Charlotte, North Texas, UTSA. That's University of Texas San Antonio.
Yeah. They've been balling out this year.
Yes, they have. Rice and UAB.
Power 6, baby.
That's
Power 6.
none of the names are sexy. But
UAB has kind of been up there. Like
They've been solid,
once they came back, they've been pretty decent. Me personally, first off, you can't go wrong. I hate to say this out loud to this little bastard next to me, but you can't
Bring
go
that
wrong.
recruiting from Texas.
You can't go wrong with bringing in a Texas team, and then I think the other one would have to be like UAB.
Yeah, I agree there. Kind of dipping into the Texas recruiting class and trying to open it up that way. Absolutely.
I mean, you could get the Florida Atlantic.
Yeah,
too,
Florida.
To get the Florida.
I was going to say that too. The Florida one wouldn't be horrible either. They're kind of over there on the East Coast, anyways.
No.
But
You got anything there, big guy?
No, it's just Power 6, man.
Oh, just
You got to refill. You got to try to do something.
Yeah.
And they're doing a pretty good job with that.
Just like everyone's trying to backfill all these massive, crazy
That's all you
moves
can
that are
do.
happening, and that's what's going to continue to happen until we get into the super conferences.
Yep. Exactly.
Everyone's like trying to make sure that they don't fall apart, so their conferences don't fall apart. Big 12, obviously, and then AAC, and also the mighty big SEC can pick up 2 of the better collegiate programs overall over their history into there. So, hook 'em horns, baby. Saying dumb shit.
hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em down. Bucks race title banner open with the rout of the Nets, 127 to 124. Giannis looked ridiculous.
That boy is shooting.
Yeah,
Man,
but he looks like he's on a mission to repeat, or at least do his best impression of, or everything he's trying to do. He looked like he had some spring in his step right out of the gate here. He's ready to defend it.
We should. It's early.
It is. I know, I get that, but some people get a little worn down after a title run like that, and it's very hard to repeat. And the reason why is because people are a little worn from playing so many games into the
From partying all
and
offseason.
partying too.
there's a lot of disrespect for the Bucks, man.
Yeah, it's always still been talking Nets and
Right.
I can't think
Yeah.
of the curly hair fuck's name from Cleveland when LeBron was there. Energy player that they had. I can't think of his name. he was really good. Just energy player, would foul people, whatever. Anyway, he's with Orlando now. Can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But they were interviewing him, and they asked about something about the Bucks championship, and he's like, "Well, I didn't see Milwaukee win the championship, so I can't verify that they're the champions. I'll have to go ahead and try to watch a video that shows me that they won the championship." But for right now, they're not the champions to me. Like, apparently there's opinions like that. People are
What?
knocking their championship for some reason. Yeah, I'm just.
So they didn't watch
Just
the
saying.
NBA Finals, is what they're trying to say?
I don't know.
They
Just
still
disrespect.
They still took care of business. The only thing that is it their fault that Kevin Durant's dumbass was wearing too big of a shoe on a 3-pointer? Because you heard that, right? He wears his size up.
Yeah.
Is that their fault? No. You know what? That was his own personal choice. He missed a shot, and guess what? The NBA champion are the Bucks. And Giannis has that crown on right now. He is the best player in the league.
Verjao.
Huh?
Verjao.
Verjao.
Oh.
What? You could have said big man center. That would have helped.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like
The-
running through
Curly,
everybody.
I know. I'm like curly.
That's all I think about. Energy guy, Anderson
Yeah.
Verjao. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. That's literally what I typed in Google. Curly hair guy that played for the Cavs, and that's what it gave me. So
Hold
Google
on.
knows.
He plays for the Magic. Are you sure?
It was. I think it was Orlando. Yeah.
He actually plays still.
They were interviewing.
Because
him.
that's the first comment
I thought he
like,
was retired and then like
I'm
come back.
I'm like, hold on,
I
you
don't
still
know.
play in the league, and you want to sit there and tell me
Right.
whether the
Like
Bucks
what's your name again?
who are you?
Yeah.
So you were one of the like 37 outcasts on the
That Braun
Cavaliers
carried.
that LeBron carried
Right.
to.
Gotcha.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is your last name James? Anderson James? You might as
Anderson
well.
James might as well be.
He was your daddy.
Come on, man. We talking about practice.
We're talking about practice. Baker eyes Thursday night football. Browns hope quarterback avoid surgery. Updated a little more than that is that he is out for this game. Don't know if they've named surgery yet, though.
Yeah, second opinion wasn't looking good. Apparently, advised not to play by team doctors in that second opinion. Yeah, like I was telling you off air, I had that labrum surgery. Obviously, it's not in his throwing arm, but still, the whole motion, I'm sure it's painful. And, man, they're just banged up.
Mm-hmm.
And a good-looking team. This year, the Browns, we talk about it every year. The Browns, maybe this is their year, right? They got the talent. It's always been like, the Browns being the Browns. And this might just be the injury bug this year going to get them.
They were looking like it up until, and you're right, the injury bug has nipped this team badly.
Really bad.
Very.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't worried about the throwing motion as much as just getting hit. You're banged up and you get hit on that, and that's
He already did get hit.
Essentially. Right,
Yeah.
I'm saying going forward, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was, though. He already had the torn labrum, and then he got hit
Well,
again in this Cardinals game.
So what I
and he
was
was down on the
saying-
field. You seen that? Like,
Yeah.
J.J. Watt, like,
The-
knelt to
the
and then started calling
dislocation.
him out.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the way he fell. So he fell all, all
Right,
jacked
but
up.
right, but I'm saying like the fact that they keep rolling, they must not have that much respect for him in the franchise to think he's a long-term franchise
Yeah,
quarterback.
exactly.
He was already out there with a torn labrum,
Right.
so fine, whatever. Okay, I want to be a Warrior. Why did it go up until today to find out that he was not playing in Thursday Night Football? No, we are holding you out. You are a franchise quarterback. You already took a hit on a torn labrum, and you were down. So this isn't even a conversation, gentlemen. You're definitely not playing Thursday.
100%.
We'll
Comes
come
back to
and
our
talk
question.
next. Huh?
Do they believe he is the guy?
They must not, and that answers the question for me. I'm sorry. That clearly answers the question, because if that was any other quarterback in the league outside Tom Brady, because Tom Brady makes his own call, all the rest of them, Patrick Mahomes was that banged up like that, and you took a hit like that, no, you'd be sitting.
You don't
Thursday
risk
Night
that.
Football, you're
No.
definitely sitting that
Yeah.
early in the week.
Especially Thursday, right?
That's what I'm saying.
the biggest
Especially
thing to
Thursday,
me.
you're
Yeah.
definitely sitting. This is even a conversation.
Yep.
We're looking for 10 more years of you at least.
Right,
We're not playing for one more game of your career.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm just gonna reel off these ones because every week we have nothing but injuries. So, Bills say tight end Knox fractured his hand and lost to the Titans.
But he threw a touchdown with his broken hand.
Did he?
Yeah. So they called the play, and they basically Allen realized something was up, and they're like, no, he wanted to audible out of it basically, and Knox was like, fuck no, like we're doing this. So he literally threw that touchdown with a broken hand. Yeah, that tough man. That shit's nuts.
Yeah. Almost Steve Smith-esque, where he went into the touchdown, broken arm, celebrated like it was no big deal.
Right. Maybe you fantasy owners who picked him up after his hot last couple games, no touchdown catch for you there, but at least a touchdown pass.
Yeah, you'll take that 6.
Yeah.
You'll take that 6 if you're playing
You're
6-point
right.
touchdown pass leagues. Kareem Hunt out several weeks with a hamstring injury. Choke.
Joe,
This
Joe, are you okay?
Yeah, Joe Biden. Let's go, Brandon. So this is one of many just for the Browns alone. We already touched on them. Jarvis is still out. Baker is out. Odell is a game time decision as of right now. Nick Chubb is out. To my knowledge,
he's up in the air. He could start.
He's up in the air. So that one's Patrick Peterson got put on the 3-week IR with a hamstring injury.
Sucks.
That looked nasty when it happened. He had to be literally helped off the field. Like he couldn't put any pressure on it. So
that's tough.
His PFF or whatever, I'm not huge into those, but his grade value after the first 2 weeks has been shut down corner.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal.
That's tough with who's coming to town following the bye week.
Who's that?
You know, the Cowboys, but trying to keep some of those receivers in check, you know, your best corner, that is tough.
Yeah, you may not need to have to worry about it when the line is going to be all over Dak's nuts.
Dude, we'll probably put up 60 on you.
Shit.
Dak's got a calf injury, bro.
He'll be all right.
He ain't going to be mobile.
I don't know.
Lil Collins coming back. We'll be just fine.
We'll be just fine. You're right, but you're right. An explosive pass offense like that.
Yeah.
That hurts. You need your best corner. You need every weapon you can get in a matchup like that. By the way, we were thinking about going to that game, and good God, man, the ticket prices of what a primetime game brings in a half state funded stadium.
Doesn't help the Cowboys
against the Cowboys
Sunday night,
and the Cowboys are doing good. Nosebleed,
it was like almost $300 to be way up.
And I'm talking about the last row of the damn.
And we looked this up a long time ago, and I'm sure, like I said, the
probably
Cowboys doing good.
more.
I'm sure it just skyrocketed.
Yep.
Ronnie Stanley also put on IR for left tackle for the Ravens. There's just like every other week, we could literally fill this whole news section with just plain out injuries. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's going crazy. I think everyone's fantasy teams have countless people on their bench with these heavily injured big name people.
Yeah.
And if we don't all forget, we lost a lot of big name people before the season even started, especially running backs.
Yeah.
It's been a really crapshoot season when it comes to injuries.
For fantasy. I was worried kind of beginning of the year, the COVID protocols and stuff.
Yeah. We haven't even had too many of those.
No, exactly.
Right?
It's been all injuries. So,
Jacksonville Jaguars. Dwayne Smoot helps wife deliver baby girl at home. So just almost like your own personal experience, Chris, except for they waited a minute too long. At least you guys made it to the hospital. He went to go move her, get in the vehicle to go. It didn't go that way. She had to sit back down on the couch, and I read this, EMT had to walk him through how to do this and tie the umbilical cord off and all that.
That's insane. No, I told her. I said, hey,
you get your ass here right now.
Yeah.
You cross them motherfucking legs, baby girl.
That's what I told my wife. I said, you push him back in there and tell him wait, because Daddy's not doing this.
This ain't happening. We'll get there. We'll break some land speed records if we have to, but
100%.
Yeah, no. Can't make me.
Oh, dude, the doctor. I got 3 boys, and the doctors every time you wanna catch the baby and whatever. I'm like, nah, doc, man, you're the professional. Go ahead.
You go ahead. I played corner for the North Iowa Bucks. You play corner for one reason, because you can't catch.
Right, exactly.
Dallas Cowboys safety DeMonte Kazee arrested on DWI charge. Go ahead, resident Cowboys expert.
Yeah, that's partying, man.
You guys just keep
ecstatic after that win. Hey, you know what? It's not a Dallas Cowboys season without somebody doing drugs or getting busted for DUI.
I would say you'll take a DUI.
Yeah, I'll take a DUI over
Randy
Gregory.
I was going to say,
as
soon as they say a Dallas Cowboy gets in trouble, the first thing you think of is,
oh, thank God, it's football season.
Or you're thinking, Jesus, Randy.
Yeah, oh yeah. As soon as it comes out, Dallas Cowboys. Oh man,
cocaine.
Come on, Randy.
Jesus.
That guy is balling out. We may have to pay him
big
money.
Definitely with some incentives or de-incentives. Like, hold on, for
Yeah.
every gram of cocaine that you don't shove up your nose, you'll get $1 million.
Absolutely.
Man's gonna be broke.
Golden State beats, with a great effort from the bench, beats the Lakers on opening night, 121-114. I do believe they had 6 overall players in double digits, and 3 or 4 of them were off the bench alone.
Well, Lakers probably couldn't keep up, having to go up and down the court with their walkers.
LeBron had 34, 11, and 5. Looked pretty damn young and good in this one. Steph Curry notches a triple-double with 21, 10, and 10, too. So.
Nice.
Yeah,
I didn't know Andre Iguodala was back there. Did you know that? Yeah.
I didn't.
He's part of their bench mob.
When did that happen?
Okay.
I didn't
The
see that
fuck?
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
looking
he
through
was
their
getting
stats.
interviewed after too, and Steph said he had a shitty game. He felt like he played terrible, and he got the triple dub. So
He did play terrible outside of the triple-double
yeah,
because his shooting was like 15 of 18 or some shit like
Well,
that.
you
Or
kn-
5 of 18 or some shit like that.
it's only game 1, but Russ didn't look good either, man.
He didn't.
So
They had to like perk him up. They were
Yeah.
minus 21 with him on the court.
Well, it's just weird. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like basically, what they were doing was LeBron would bring the ball up the court, then he would give it to Russ, and then they would run whatever play. Like I feel like if you've got Russ, you've got to use him different.
You must
That's
not be a
have
very
to.
good coach. Like if you can't make 2 athletic superstars work, even
Yeah.
if one of them has no 3-point shot,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that literally your job to make something like that work?
Right,
Like that
figure it out.
Like that would be a coach's wet dream to have it. Like we will figure out some running scheme, like as in where you guys are athletic, will run a movement offense where you guys are like running basically in circles. They don't and you're just passing the ball off. I don't care how you do it.
Yeah.
Whether it's a pick and roll offense where you're sending one of them down, it don't matter. I feel like this isn't that difficult of a job when it comes to something like that. Like try to make that work with a point guard that doesn't have the intensity of a Russell.
Right.
I can't even name a shitty one off the top of my head that I could use in this. I mean, any one of the Cavaliers that LeBron carried that he would have to do this with. Like, you can't make this work with him and Russell Westbrook. This should be pretty damn easy, I would think.
Yeah. The Lakers like to play that. It's basically like half-court game, right? They get up there just slow. He needs to be that change of pace guy. Like, he's the one that pushes the ball up the court fast, gets the defense on their heels, and you can make some plays. And they just weren't – it was just awkward watching him. It was like he doesn't know what he's doing without the ball.
Well, like Chris said, maybe it's the walkers are getting in the way. They can't run around as fast. I have no idea.
Game 1, though. So.
Game 1.
AARP club.
Yep. James Harden, after opting not to sign an extension with the Nets before deadline, says, I don't plan on leaving.
Okay.
Yeah. Get it in ink and I'll believe anything, right?
All right. We'll see. You maybe want to play this out, see what happens with the Nets
Kyrie,
in general.
Kyrie, does he play, does he not?
How do you guys respond without a Kyrie and it's just you and KD?
Yeah, what if KD gets hurt again? And it's just you. You're back to the Houston days.
You're back to the
know?
Houston. Like, hell on, this isn't what I was wanting.
Right.
So he looked like you know what? I'm not saying I gained like a bunch of respect for him because I'm not a Harden guy at all, but I gained a little bit. They were all able to play off each other. I didn't think he would have that in him coming from the Rockets and going to to a team where other people can run with this ball.
Right.
Totally I don't need to do this. He actually sat back fine. He actually played part of the team, and he still can't play defense to save his life. But as far as sharing the ball, no controversies that way. And yes, he was banged up, so he can't talk too much shit last year. But they all were banged up. So like they play 11 games together total last year or something.
Yeah.
Bills lose. We'll save this one.
Yeah. Let's save
this one.
Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia over here.
Still.
I should have put this one part of the injury one, but this is kind of a big deal. Green Bay Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari slated to practice for first time since ACL tear on New Year's Eve. That's big time.
That is.
A team that's already rolling 5-1.
Yeah.
Well, they need it. The center got hurt last week. I forget his name.
Yeah, I did.
So
I saw that.
They need that.
Yep. Cam Newton says he's vaccinated and wants to continue playing in the NFL. So sell your body to work at your job.
Seahawks.
Yeah, that's his choice.
Yep. His choice.
You know,
But
here's the thing, though.
Can he play though? Is more. I don't even
Right.
care about all the other stuff. Like we watched him play. The dude's arm is looking like McNabb's at the end of his career. It is
Right.
ducks out there
So-
cutting grass.
Yep.
I'll go out and say this. Kaepernick makes all this noise, you know, I'm getting blackballed and this and that. And I believe kind of, yes, he is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you look like he had his magical season in San Fran. Yeah.
He turned
Right.
his.
Right,
Remember
right.
that?
He
Okay.
turned it down. I believe he was absolutely getting blackballed before that.
I
But
agree.
so he had his magical season, right? Well, then, you know, he gets cut and this, that, and he's complaining. It's like, dude,
Hold on.
you were.
Him being blackballed was what year was that? Real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but what
I
year
don't
was
know.
that?
I have no idea.
Roughly. It's been within the last 10 years, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So are you sure that it wasn't one of the 2,500 emails that
Oh, yeah.
I wonder.
Maybe
that
he's
there
in the
wasn't
email.
some version of a conversation in
Maybe
there by
he's in
someone
there.
other than Gruden?
Yeah.
But
Well, go
just it's like, dude, you were not being a good quarterback,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What convinced me that he's being blackballed was Nate Peterson, I believe, through
Yeah.
5 picks, got
Oh.
cut, still got signed or some
Nate
crap.
Peterman.
Peterman, okay. Yeah,
Peterman.
I'm like, okay, that convinced me he's being blackballed. But before all that, it was like, dude, you are not a good quarterback right now, and your stats show it. And I think the same thing with Cam right now. It's like you are not playing good quarterback football to be in the NFL right now, and you haven't been. You know,
Yeah.
you are a read option quarterback and that's it. Like you cannot pass. I don't even know if I'd take him as a backup.
You almost would have to do like.
I
to
would
make
say,
him
hold on, I'm
valuable-
gonna make that very clear, and I'll let you go next. I would bring him in as a backup.
It would have to be the right team, like the Ravens maybe, or you can run that kind of.
No, well, like I would still bring him in as a backup. I wouldn't be thrilled about that because, like for instance, Minnesota's value is in all of their offensive weapons, their wide receivers, their running backs. So it wouldn't be really good for them.
Yeah,
But
see,
he's
as a
still-
Cowboys
he's still-
fan, I wouldn't.
But he's still a better backup than what we have on our roster. He's still a better backup than what you have on your roster.
I don't know. I don't know if
Your
I'd bring him
well,
in.
maybe not you guys because you guys don't play defense. So like the games won't be
Trevon
close if he's
Diggs.
not doing it.
Trevon Diggs
Outside of Trevon Diggs,
begs to differ.
he'll pick motherfuckers off. Absolutely.
No, he's a gimmick quarterback, right? So if you brought him in, I think you'd have to treat him like the Saints treat Taysom Hill,
Taysom Hill.
right?
Okay.
So you
Yep.
bring him in, you're inside
Would
the
that-
5-yard line.
Would that upset him?
I don't
Well,
know.
him,
I don't
no.
think so.
Him, no. But-
Yeah. Because he's going to score a touchdown. He's a big body. He's going to get across the end zone. He's going to score for you. It has to be something like that. He's not a starting quarterback, though.
No, not
Yeah.
a starter. I'm
No.
saying as a backup. Taysom Hill was a backup, even though he's a gadget player.
But he's not. He wouldn't be good enough to be a consistent backup, man. Like I think Case Keenum's better than him, right? I think there's a lot of backups that are.
I don't
way
think
better than him.
think very many people argue with that, but not very many teams have a Case Keenum backing up their quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what is
Yeah.
on most NFL rosters right now as your backup quarterback. You should want to take Cam Newton. In general, just in general speaking, I'm not talking about the rare few occasions where you have a decent backup quarterback because most of these teams do not.
Okay, well, you asked me a minute ago, would he want that? Would he want that? Would he want to be just a flat-out
Yes,
backup quarterback?
yes,
I think he would.
I think he does now. I think he just wants back in.
Yep. He
And-
wants back in.
And I think his lips would be chomping at the bit for the opportunity to even have a Taysom Hill bit. That's awesome. You're part of the game. You're not just a backup quarterback.
Right, he just wants
Plays will
back
call
in.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants back in,
Yep.
but I don't know what I saw in the Patriots missing, just flat out missing receivers and stuff like that. It's horrible.
Yep. Arm doesn't look the same, man.
Hey, he helped the grounds crew keep that grass short though.
Hell yeah, brother.
Silence. All right, so we are going to get to the hot topic right here. This is my last bit of news like I normally do, but this one's gonna get probably a little warm.
Nah, we're gonna keep it cool.
Cool as the other side of the pillow.
Bills lose to Titans 34-31 on Monday Night Football after going for it on 4th and 1 at the Tennessee 3-yard line. A lot of controversy. Should have people believe they should have kicked the field goal. They went for the first down. They did keep it in their best player's hands. That's the one positive. What are we thinking?
Yeah, go ahead, Rio. You can start this.
All right. I think sitting right there, you have to kick the field goal. Go for the tie. Put it in your defense's hands, or I can't remember how much time was on the clock, but
22 seconds.
So you kick the field goal and take it overtime, right? At least at that point, you put fate into a coin flip that we're tied, and at worst, you put your defense on the field, which had been gashed by Derrick Henry.
One play.
Right. So it's like you at least give yourself a shot. And you can get the ball, too, right, on that coin flip. So 50-50. You could even get the ball and drive down and go win the game.
They have a pretty good defense, too, right?
So, exactly. The defense isn't bad. So I think absolutely you kick it right there.
Yeah, this shit's nuts. I thought I was going to come in and we were going to be unanimous and say there's no way you kick that field goal, you go for it. So here's the deal. You did put it in your best player's hands. That's what you needed to do. And also, something I don't know if you guys know, right now, including that play, Josh Allen with 4th and less than a yard to go, do you know what his numbers are? He's 13 of 14 now. So he was 100% up until that play. 13 for 13 to get that.
So, but with 22 seconds left, what are you playing for? A 4th down, right?
So what's the worst case? So in your head,
no hope.
what's the worst case? We're gonna get the first down. Worst case, then we can potentially score. Worst case is a field goal at that point. But right now, we're playing
worst
for the
case
win.
is that you get stuffed.
He didn't get stuffed. He slipped, first of all. So he slipped.
But he got
But
stuffed
he was
after
short.
that.
Yeah, so he ended up short. But no, that's definitely not the wrong call. And he said it too. Was it McDermott, right? The coach there. He said 10 times out of 10, I run the same play.
You have to
for
back
good
it
reason.
up.
Well, I
I
agree. You have to say that. What are you
You
gonna
have
say?
to say
You know
it.
what? That was.
But I'm saying I'm with him.
70%
I don't
of the
disagree.
time, I wouldn't do that. This 130%. He's gonna say 10 out of 10. This
I
is my
think
point.
now, if it's the Detroit Lions, absolutely, I think you go for it. But as the Bills and where you're at, no, you kick that field goal.
You're in your best position to score that you've been in the entire fourth quarter. You've got 0 points in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, I think Tennessee scored 3 straight drives. They're scoring on you, okay? And you're at the best position you're going to be in. You're trying to score that ball. You don't have a lot of faith in your defense right there because Tennessee's doing their thing. And this is your best chance to score. You take that fucking chance.
With 22 seconds left, I don't think so. You got to kick that and at least give yourself a shot because obviously 4th down, game's over if you don't get it. So you kick that field goal, give yourself a chance in overtime. At worst, you put your defense back on the field, right, on the coin flip.
In your
give
mind,
yourself a shot.
There's no chance, though. 13 for 13, baby. Under a yard. 13 for 13.
I still kick it.
I would
Gotta
still
kick it.
have him run it tomorrow. I'd have him run the exact same play, and he'll get it 90% of the time.
So, well, now they have a loss because they did that. They did that dumb shit. If they were just informed and hit me up.
All right, so speaking of that game, if you guys are listening, comment and tell us some shit, what you think they should have done. I didn't expect this to even be an argument. I figured you guys would be on the other side, but that's cool.
So I was sitting there recording that for you for our pages. I am a 99% go for it guy. I really am. I get jacked when they do. I don't even give a shit if it's 4th and 10. If it's 4th and 10.
I have been loving this year. People have been going for it more.
Right.
4th down.
They're listening to analytics, and it goes better for your team or whatever. The odds are a lot better when you do. This one you do not. This one you do not do that. I don't care if you're 13 for 13, because guess what? Nothing stays 100%. You were bound. That means you were due to get stuffed. In my opinion, if you want to run analytics and run stats, you were due to get stuffed at that point because nobody goes 100% on anything. There are too many things that could have went wrong in that, and one of them did. He slipped. So you can get
lose.
You could have got for instance, so many things. The snap could have been a bad snap could have happened. Then they get the ball back anyway. The slip, he slipped.
There could be a lot of things that go wrong with a field goal too. Field goal could get blocked. You could bobble the snap. Same thing.
Right, and I'm not saying,
and
I'm not saying that, especially field goal kicking this year.
Yeah.
So it isn't like I'm saying that's 100%, but you were literally at the 4-yard line. I would have been pissed if it was my team, and you have a better defense. If you play legit defense and you're not playing some dumbass
prevent defense.
defense or anything like that, and you're playing a defense that you know that you've been playing at a high level all season long. The worst case scenario in my hands, I'm gonna kick the field goal. Maybe he makes it, maybe he doesn't. Then I'm just gonna fire the kicker. That's what Zimmer does anyway.
There you go.
So nobody's gonna blame you for kicking the field goal in any way, shape, or form. They kick the field goal. Worst case scenario, let's say they do make it. Worst case scenario after that is you put it in your defense's hands. The Titans started storming back, but did they storm back because they were playing a weak ass defense in the fourth too, and the offense wasn't rolling? You said the offense wasn't rolling up to that point. So now they buckle down. They get themselves jacked on the sideline before the snap. Your defense gets a shot back. Ryan Tannehill was playing like garbage. There was one play that Derrick Henry ripped off. Besides that run, and you know me, I've already had this conversation with you guys. What makes a great running back? I don't give a shit. His stats are his stats. Like, I don't like, if he didn't have that one play, yeah, you know what? If he didn't run, 20 times, he wouldn't be a running back. So the one play always counts. But in that particular situation, you bottled him up 19 for 63 yards besides one play for 76. That's what you did up to that point. Trust your defense.
You got a pretty good defense.
And then that offense.
How many touchdowns did he have?
He had 3.
3 touchdowns.
There's a lot of people that do that. There's the old boy from the Patriots that have 4 and then didn't play the rest of the season after that. That happens when you get down to the 1, and especially a big body guy like that. I'm not trying to disrespect Derrick Henry because he is a monster. I still roll the dice with my defense out there, and I have the better offense.
Yep,
is my opinion. That's what you just play for another down on that. You play because if you don't
play
get
for
that,
another offensive series,
or you run a different play other than that, like do something because everybody and their dog knew what play was coming.
Yeah,
you even said it yourself. He was 13 of 13. Throw them off then.
Right.
Throw a different play at him.
Well, then the argument is different, right? Then the argument's he's 13 for 13. Why didn't you just run it if they don't make it?
Well,
right?
that's fine.
So there's always going to be an argument.
Well, I
you
know.
Stick with what you're good at.
And I understand that.
Now he's 13 and 14. So.
And you're good on defense.
Over 90%.
And you're good on defense and offense. So they should have kicked the field goal and then played then if we're at that. But I'm just saying, throw them off a little bit. Everybody in their mind knew it was that they blew up that line.
Yeah.
That misstep where he slid, he was getting shut down anyway. Watch that replay. That line came crushing in. He was getting smacked. I know you love Josh Allen. I know that. And I like Josh Allen too. You just love him like man crush status because he carried you to a fantasy football championship last year.
Oh, I forgot about that. What happened last year?
I know. Accidents happen every single day. Like just like this one, they made a bad accident by going for it instead of kicking the field goal.
That'd be all right.
They will be all right, correct,
yeah.
But they lost the game last.
They have a relatively easy schedule here going out. What if you could have kicked the field goal, ended up pulling out the victory in overtime, and then you have
you weren't stopping them.
You're not
understanding. So their offense did nothing.
How do you know they're not stopping them?
From the middle of the third quarter to the end of let me finish what I'm saying. Right. Middle of the third quarter to the end of the fourth, they did 0, no points. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Tennessee ripped off 17 points. So they scored on 3 straight drives, right? Mm-hmm. Their offense is rolling. Yours is not. So this is your best opportunity to win the game right now.
So you're literally flipping your belief right in front of us. You go for it 13 for 13. He's 13 for 13.
Right.
So
I don't know what you're saying.
So what you were saying was that now I lost my train of thought. You had when you told me to stop, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Hurry up, get this over with. No, but you said you go with what they had shut them down. It's my point. Mm-hmm. They had shut them down. So right. I didn't get to watch the in between, but there was not a lot of yards to be had in that game. So was that the Bills' offense not moving the ball? So if the Bills' offense hadn't scored in the fourth quarter, Danny, why would you go for it on fourth down, 13 for 13?
Because you're in position to finally score. You don't know if you're going to get there again because it's been that bad up to that point.
Right? But you have been that bad up to that point the whole time. Why would you go for it there instead of kicking the field goal, which you haven't had the opportunity to in the whole time, the whole fourth quarter?
13 for 13.
You're
point,
not getting,
right?
Yeah, but they have been getting shut down.
Right,
you
but
said the whole
position.
No, you can't have both. You said they got shut down from the third and a half quarter on. Yeah. They got shut down offensively that whole time. Right. So kick the field goal, go on. No. You already said.
Then what happens? Then what happens?
You jack up your sideline and you hope you get either way, the worst case scenario, You trot your defense out there. Best case scenario, your offense gets it, and then they finish off the hot streak that you just said that they started getting on to get down into field goal range in the first place.
Let's move on to a different subject. In this game, and this was a question that I said I want to make sure we talk about because we've got to get to some predictions too, but could this be the first year since when did Adrian Peterson win it? 2012?
Yes.
First time, so in almost 10 years. Could this be the first time in that length of time that a running back wins MVP?
Unless he gets injured, this is his hands down.
And when you say his, we're talking about Derrick Henry still.
King Henry.
King Henry.
King Henry. Put some respect on that name.
King Henry, baby.
King Henry.
King.
So,
Yeah.
interesting stat we posted on our Facebook too was in Adrian Peterson's MVP season, he had 12 rushing touchdowns that whole season. Derrick Henry, a.k.a. King Henry, has 10 already.
On pace for 28, I think.
Yeah. So
imagine 28
crazy.
and 2,000 rushing yards.
Yeah. So they only gain one more game, and he's still on pace for like over 2,200 yards. So he's still on pace to go over 2,000 yards again.
Yep.
So we talked about this off air. He usually starts off slow in the season or something. I don't know if it's the team starts off slow. I don't know if Derrick Henry ever actually starts off slow, but you know what I'm getting at.
Maybe that first game this year wasn't great, right? He only had like
No.
100 rushing yards or something.
Right. But I'm talking about his previous seasons. He's been like this for years. Now he's just starting sooner. He's starting literally from game one on, not the team starting off so slow that he's barely getting it, and then he turns it on in the second half, and he almost or breaks 1,000 or 2,000 yards rushing. So this is his hands down, starting off this hot too.
Yeah, I think you're right here. The only thing I think is if the Cardinals finish with only 3 losses, and Murray keeps balling out, that they're gonna give it to him, just because they can give it to quarterbacks.
But won't he have to break a record or something? Like have some
know.
ridiculous stats?
Because Derrick Henry's
he's gonna put up some numbers with that offense, but I just think if they got 3 losses and I don't know, he's been playing so well,
He is,
I think maybe it goes that direction. Like I said, if they don't, they finish with the 5-6 losses, then yeah, Derrick Henry for sure, as long as he keeps putting up these numbers and whatnot. So
I think it would help Derrick Henry in this aspect is that he is. I said it's his hands down if he just continues with this pace. Not even a conversation, even with all the wins, because there are so many quarterbacks playing at an extremely high level, throwing up a jackload of stats, including your own shitty-ass Dak Prescott. I don't mean shit. Actually, I shouldn't say shitty-ass Dak Prescott.
yeah,
Shitty
you
ass-
like Dak.
Shitty, I do. It's an awesome story. But there's so many, including Dak Prescott, that are throwing up all those stats too, and they're gonna have close to the same amount of wins. So
Let's be real too. You guys play in a way worse division. You could end up with a better record than the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, because the
That is
Giants aren't
true.
winning 9 games.
I honestly think.
Isn't that right, Jimmer?
What?
The Giants are not winning 9 games.
It's not mathematically. It is not excluded from
So
the
you're
conversation.
saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance. I'm gonna go ahead and right now disconnect myself from that 9 wins. I'm gonna disconnect myself.
Well, what'd you bet? $100? What'd y'all bet?
It was
on
not
that?
250.
250.
Get out of here.
I don't
What
know.
was
The
it?
number keeps going up every week.
It does.
It
It's
does.
almost like what
I don't
Joey.
know. I looked at it
Just
the
like
other
when
day.
Joey's talking to me about how many kids I have, the number keeps going up every time he says, "What? You and your 17 kids?" I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you?" I think it started off with 7, 10, 17. I'm like, "What? Good God,
Dude, let's be real. It feels like it some days, though, don't it?
Oh my God. One of them
Fuck.
can almost do that though.
Yeah.
One of them can. Almost
Oh,
feel
it's
like
just
that.
a warm whiskey wager.
Yeah,
Oh, that sucks.
I may just chug the bottle for that, just for stupid. Yeah, that was.
Well,
That was
They're
yeah.
they've
they're
been
kind of like your fantasy team right now, and this is not a joke or a jab at you, but like they have so many injuries too. If they were healthy,
Yeah.
that 9 could be realistic, right?
Yeah,
Like,
if they were healthy, they'd get like 5 wins. But
well, let's not get ridiculous.
oh yeah,
They
right, 4.
they haven't all been on the field 100% healthy at the same time, especially and
I thought they were going to be a problem this year because of the signings and
then
the defense line is
Saquon
actually
coming
not
back and
horrible.
everything.
Saquon coming back, they got
They started
receivers.
off really slow and they're banged up. So.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought honestly that one is even as shocking. That was me going out on a limb a little bit. The one that shocks me in that one completely is the Washington football team.
That
big
that one.
time.
That one.
And
I
now
thought
they're
it was
just going to go
theirs.
downhill, man. They've got a lot of injuries now. It's only going to get worse, dude.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they're
yeah.
well, they're the one thing that was supposed to be their bread and butter.
Their defense is
Was
just
their
looking
defense.
like crap, man. I
It's
mean,
look- yeah,
I didn't mind that, Fitzpatrick went down and Heineke come out because he's a baller, right?
He's
Yeah.
good.
And he is.
and he'll
he's a
and
gamer.
He is.
So I didn't mind that. I was like, you know what? They still got a good shot.
No.
And then that defense is just so bad.
I made my prediction based off that defense, not off of what the offense can do.
Yep.
The offense was like maybe an extra win or two with Fitzpatrick, and Heineke isn't a bad backup for that. So I was all right with that too. I'm like, all right, I can still see it. That defense hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're
Right.
at.
It
I don't know if
doesn't
they
make
got
sense.
some of those.
Well, not good enough for me to play him in fantasy.
Yeah. So you got hoodwinked.
Yeah,
the,
I'm
on the
I'm
defense.
only keeping them so for when they play the Giants.
Or
Right. You got that.
I don't
Giants
know why.
and Eagles.
they'd be lighting up. All those boys get healthy for one
For
game.
for those of
Yeah,
you listening
probably.
too, one of the landing spots it sounds like that's coming across for Deshaun Watson is Miami, and it sounds like it could potentially be a 3-way trade where Washington ends up with, you can say his last name better than me, Tua
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa,
Yeah.
which would make things really interesting because I don't know how I feel about him yet.
I like what I've seen this year so far. The limited time that he's been out there, he's shown that he's made that a sophomore jump. Last year he was real skittish. He was dropping the ball off like 6 yards a clip, little stuff like that, dumping off, and too afraid to take his shots. He's shown that he's matured and he is firing a little bit more. And right when you go ahead and yes, you lost the Jaguars. Was that his fault? Could you blame that game on him ultimately?
That's probably his best game I've seen him play.
It was over 300
Yeah.
yards. What
Couple touchdowns.
couple touchdowns. He did throw an interception, but
Who
that was
doesn't? Who doesn't?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick Mahomes sure as hell does.
And he's limited on
Shout out to
weapons
the
too. His
Chiefs fans.
receivers are hurt, man. So it's not like he has great guys to throw the ball to.
No,
right?
Right,
absolutely.
yeah.
So, and that defense is way underperforming from what it did
So
last year.
bad,
Either that or
man.
last
Yeah.
year they were way overperforming. One of the two.
Yeah.
Well, I know they were. So one thing that is going under the radar that a lot of people don't realize too when they start talking about this, well, they lost the worst team in the NFL. Yep, absolutely, you did.
The Lions might
Um,
be right now, just for the
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say,
hold on.
Lions are pretty bad.
There's a battle for it. Yeah,
yeah.
Texans.
They
aren't great.
have a brighter future in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
is the way to
Minnesota's
put it.
bad.
Oh, now you're saying dumb shit.
Here we go.
Yep. Evidently, you started taking your warm whiskey wagers without us seeing them before you came in. But what a lot of people don't realize is that in that particular game, the Dolphins' corners were out. Both their top two corners were out of that game. I'm not saying it would have been much better.
Howard and Byron Jones.
Yeah, that both out of this game. So. All I'm saying is Tua. I don't believe it was Tua's. You can't hang that on Tua, and Tua has a bright future.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to trade him and his bright future and what seems like a pretty damn decent person, I mean, I thought Deshaun Watson was too, but all of a sudden
Yeah.
he likes massage parlors and surprise peekaboo spray jobs.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Have you ever seen a movie called Brothers Grimsby?
I know exactly what you're talking about now. Shout out to Marv. Thank you for that.
Thank you for
That was awesome movie.
You better, if anyone watches that, just remember it is grotesque. It's just funny as shit. We're immature, so that helps. But that being said, I don't know why you would throw in the towel on a dude that still shows that he has a bright ass future. You just got him 2 years ago, for a guy that obviously is having some issues, some way or form. There's no answer on what's going to happen from the league. There's no answer. He's refusing to play with them even before it was an issue. You were willing. You signed a big ass contract just a few years ago. And yes, I understand it's the Texans and they falter everything, but still, you already shown a little bit of an issue, and then you have this all these sexual claims. And why would you? Why? Because you're going to give draft picks up too. You're not even just giving up on
Right,
Tua.
yeah.
You're giving up draft picks.
Yep.
Right.
And then Washington can't lose in this. I don't even care if Washington has to give up a first rounder, because I'm sure that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They have to give a first
Like
rounder.
probably 3.
No, one. I guarantee this is where it comes in. They would have to give up one
Oh,
so that
and
they
2
can
on the
kick
other.
it over
I see.
to Houston. I guarantee that's what that trade would be.
I got you. Yeah.
So you can't lose. First round pick, Tua, bright, and he's showing that he can do this. Why wouldn't you? So they can't lose. And the other two teams are, well, I shouldn't say two teams. Miami to me would look like the dunce in this. They'd be giving up 3 first-rounders. One of them most likely looking like it would come from Washington. Houston would be looking like they came out with at least something, 3 first-rounders for someone that didn't want to play for you, so they'd kind of win. The Dolphins are bailing them out, in my opinion.
Yeah, so here, real quick question before we dive into this shit. As a Vikings fan, we don't know what's going to happen with Watson, right?
Yep.
We don't actually know how much. He's going to miss some games, but we don't know how many. As a Vikings fan, if we were to make a similar trade, give up some first-round picks, maybe some stud.
No.
No what? No, you have
for Deshaun.
Just hold on. Let's say you knew for a fact, worst case scenario, he has to miss. And Minnesota is a destination place where he wants to play.
Yeah. Yep.
He's going to miss 12 games.
Yeah, no.
And that's it.
No, I don't care
You
if he doesn't miss a game. No.
Interesting.
If you want to trade Kirk Cousins and a second-round pick or a couple second and a bundle of some others, no, you do not give up first-rounders for this guy. First-rounders plus your quarterback, because Kirk is not playing bad either. Because you don't know what's going to actually happen to this. You don't know the rest of it either.
Right.
We don't know if this is the end of it anyway. Just because only 22 or 23 of them are out there doesn't mean that it's it. How do you know it's not done when he comes up to a different state and he starts winning some games from Minnesota and like the massage parlor gets a little too happy? You don't know if this is done. The weird sense, in my opinion, of like how these stories broke on his was that they're eerily similar in almost every single one. So he has a fetish.
He's got to miss games, right?
Yeah,
he has got to. If he doesn't get at least 8 games, then that just convinced me that Roger Goodell hates the Cowboys because of Zeke's 6 games. Remember?
Yeah. Or Tom Brady missing 4 because of a deflated football.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah.
There's certain
he's got to miss I say at least 8.
At least
if
half
not,
the season,
if not.
So
more.
Okay, let me balance this question out a little bit. You're worried more about the picks and everything than anything, right? So let's say there was a trade, the value made sense, everything like that, but he's going to miss 10, 12 games. Do you think that's worth it? That's more of my question is the missing games.
So yes. Like I said, my picks when it comes to Deshaun Watson are more valuable. This is how Houston got themselves in trouble in the first place.
Yep, I follow where you're going. Yeah.
You don't give up the first rounders, not an abundance of them. Maybe you give up one. You give up 1 first rounder. That's maybe the cap. And God, it would almost have to be perfect in every scenario. Like, I don't know if I like the character part of this. I really don't.
I mean, he had him signing NDAs, right?
Yeah,
which is something fucked
I don't know if
happen.
I like that. There's so many other. God, I wish there's other teams that if you want to bring up other quarterbacks. Like, of course I do that for Herbert. I may even give up 2 first rounders because, there's no issue there. And some of these other quarterbacks that are great and young and Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. Even with I'll take his 15 interceptions and I'll give you a 7th rounder for him. But that's me joking. But the rest, I'm like, I love Deshaun. I loved watching him play. I loved watching him carry that team on his back. I don't know if I want him on my team just for the simple fact that I don't know what is going on in that man's head when you have that many counts of it too. It isn't like 1 or 2 and something got misconstrued or whatever.
Right. So real quick before we move on to our picks. So say there's nothing going on. None of this happened. What do you give up for him? You do it right away, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so but still not 3 first rounders. That's got to be a first or maybe a couple firsts. But it's
why not? Your win time is now, right? You bring him in.
No.
You got Dalvin. You haven't paid him big money, right? Justin Jefferson. You haven't paid him big money.
So no.
Your defense is playing
I know.
well.
And I made this debate with old boy.
I think you do. Minnesota has never won one, right? So in your win now,
there's a lot of teams that haven't won a Super Bowl, so. That don't give up their whole
whatever.
franchise
I'm just saying, like you go win now because you got guys on low contracts. Let's do this, right?
Deshaun hasn't shown to prove that he can do that either, though.
He's played on bad teams. Come on,
I understand.
The team
that.
has been really bad. No line.
So you're saying
running.
Our team is good?
No, I'm just saying the team is better than the Texans. Come on.
Yeah, I mean he threw for 5,000 yards with a dog shit team.
Yeah.
Right, but that also gets back to garbage stat filling shit.
So
that
Kirk
happens
Cousins.
in the
Kirk
NFL.
Cousins did that shit too in Washington.
Washington, but he's shown that he can do that on a winning football team also.
Who's winning?
We have with him.
All right.
Man,
Well-
this kid gets on one hot streak with the Cowboys, and now they're fucking.
I can't lose,
The
right?
best
So
team.
I like two teams: Bills Mafia, baby, and Dallas Cowboys, and they're
You
just chugging along, right?
You can lose in a week, right?
Yeah, if they had kicked the field goal, man, we'd be
sitting real sharp.
sitting
like-
real good.
Uh, I don't know. I like when I say I like Deshaun. There's other players that I would give up way more for. I'm not Deshaun. My limit would be 2 with no issues. Two first rounders and Kirk. That's what you're at. That's what my option would be.
Yeah.
But are there other young quarterbacks out there that I would give up? Maybe that third. 'Cause there's no such thing as too many.
Has to be Herbert, right?
Well, Herbert, I would do it for Mahomes, even with Mahomes going on. But he had to learn how to play in a system, not just go a little freestyle like he's been doing this year. But other than that, there's a few quarterbacks that I would do it for. Deshaun would get my interest at 2 of them because he also hasn't shown that he can. He shows he can throw up the stats, he can do whatever, but he hasn't shown that he can actually be the reason you're winning too.
Okay, say Russell really wants out this
Yes.
offseason.
Yeah.
What are you throwing at for him?
His age considered, because he's what? I think he's 32, 33.
Well,
Either-
Not sure.
I think he's
Not
about I think he's about the same as Kirk. So they're about the same age. Throwing well, he wouldn't be a free agent, is he?
No, that's what
So
I'm
it's
saying.
a
You're
trade.
trading for him.
Too easy. Oh, for his character, too easy, and Kirk.
Okay.
Too easy. And then we'll have a conversation for other
About
picks too.
other stuff.
2 will be and then we'll backfill it with other stuff. But that's a Kirk. Russell is there's no character issue. The dude is a stand up human being that we know of at least.
Right.
You bring Sierra up to Minnesota. There's not very many things that you
calm
go.
down.
Yeah. But ultimately,
Yeah.
he owns the Vikings. Why not be on the other side of it and help us actually go the other side?
All right, GM Jimmer, you heard it there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and comment.
easy on
let
that
him know
Here we
where
go.
he's fucking up.
What?
I
We need to blow through these. We've had a lot to talk
rumbled
about.
on.
already.
So
Yep.
I'll start us off with some college picks this weekend. I got a couple ones I like, and then I'll give you an upset pick here.
Astros win Game 5.
They blew them out. I saw that 9-1.
What is it now?
3-2 Astros.
There we go.
So my first pick, BYU to cover that 2.5
You like that?
over Washington State. Washington State, coach just got fired, and several coaching staff members.
Four members of his coaching staff.
So they may be reeling a little bit in that locker room. So yeah, I like BYU to cover this 2.5. Coastal Carolina to be Appalachian State. I don't know how you say that. By more than 4.5, it is at Appalachian State.
I had it at 5.5.
Okay. But yeah, I think they beat them. I'm not sure if they can keep up with them.
Yeah,
It's a high-scoring offense.
They're undefeated.
That
Average
game-
margin of victory is
Yeah.
33.
Their
Yeah,
game is
exactly.
going on right now, gentlemen.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm taking that. Ole Miss to beat LSU. I'm not sure about the line there.
That game is 14-14 right now in the
Ooh.
second.
Oh,
The reason why
okay,
I
in
bring
the
this up
second.
and the reason why I'm passionate about that pick is I actually went the other way. I have Appalachian State covering the
covering
5.5.
Okay.
Okay. So I am picking Ole Miss to beat LSU. Just taking it straight up. They're favored by 9.5. I don't know. LSU has kind of been hot and cold this year.
They just not announced. Do they play up for their coach or?
Well, he's going to finish the year.
I know he is.
So-
I understand that. Do you play inspirational
Right,
football
exactly.
for your
Exactly.
I
Old ball
mean,
coach,
So-
Saban?
they just beat Florida, right?
Right,
Florida's
and
a
they
good
put up a
team.
lot of points.
Yeah.
But we've also seen them do the other. So
Yeah.
I'm not taking the points here. I'm just saying Ole Miss does win.
Yep.
Okay.
And then my upset pick, Oregon, 1.5 underdogs at UCLA. They need a win to stay in that hunt for the college playoffs. So I think they're going to come out fired up, and they pull that off. So that's my upset pick.
Boom. All right. So for locks, Penn State over Illinois kind of took an easy one there. They're favored by 23.5. I think Penn State's kind of got that mindset of we got to roll people if we want a shot. So I think they do that. Purdue over Wisconsin.
Do we know if they have their
Ooh.
quarterback back? Clifford got hurt against Iowa. I don't know if he's officially
That's a good call. I'm not
been
sure.
named back yet.
I mean,
okay.
23.5. So I'm assuming he's back.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
go
he's
ahead.
got to be back.
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Purdue. So I'm with you on this one, Jimmer. You mentioned some of your upset picks are actually your locks. This is an upset pick, but I'm super confident they're going to beat Wisconsin. Purdue's going to beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin's favored by 2.5. I don't know where the love for Wisconsin is
Purdue,
coming
too?
from.
Isn't it at Purdue?
I think it is at Purdue. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of that weird thing like they do to Texas and Notre Dame. I don't know why Wisconsin's still getting love. They're not a good football team. So I've got Purdue winning there. Miami's going to get their 5th loss of the season against North Carolina State. Miami is favored by 2.5, but I don't think that happens. And then talking about upset picks real quick, I think the big one for me is Iowa State losing to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's going to keep rolling. At this point, I just think they're a better football team. It is in Ames, but I think Oklahoma State takes care of that.
Is it at night?
Yeah. I was about
If
to
it's a
ask
night
the
game,
same
you
thing.
flip the other way.
I'm
Any
looking-
night games in Iowa, man.
I didn't
looking
see the
right
Night
time.
games in Iowa or anywhere in the desert, baby.
No, it's in the afternoon. Late
Oh,
afternoon.
okay.
2:30
So-
p.m.
You'll be all right.
You're not wrong.
Good call, though. Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
wrong.
And then the last upset pick, it's a kind of baby one. Memphis over UCF. I did some digging around. So Calvin Austin is the receiver for Memphis, and Seth Hannigan are the quarterback. So they've been a fucking hell of a combination this year. Number 2 quarterback as far as yards go, or number 2 receiver, excuse me, and number 6 quarterback in the entire country. All of their losses have been by 3, 3, and 6. They average fucking 36 points a game. So I guess long story short, this is going to be a fun game to watch too, because UCF actually averages about 40 points a game, and the over-under is 63.5. So this could easily turn into a 50 to 55 game. I would probably
You
bet
take
the over on
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, those are my college picks for the day.
All right. My upset picks are App State to cover the 5.5. It's at App State against Coastal Carolina. That game is technically going on right now. Like I said, it was 14-14. I think it's 17-14 now, Coastal Carolina.
Oh, that was the one that was 14-14. I was thinking it was
Yeah. No,
the
Coastal
LSU
Carolina.
Yeah.
okay.
I have Maryland covering the 5.5 at Minnesota, and this is I do my Stone Cold locks. This is one of my locks actually.
I was looking at that one. I do
well
like
as
that.
upset. So
Yeah.
Maryland, I think Maryland wins this game. I know Minnesota is playing inspirational football the best they can. They've had a few injuries this year, pretty big time injuries. I understand it's at Minnesota, but Maryland's offense is pretty damn good. So I'm going Maryland on that one. I have Oklahoma State covering 6.5 at Iowa State. I'm not going and saying that they're going to beat Iowa State, but they are going to get inside that 6.5.
Okay.
My Stone Cold locks. Now, the 2 of my 3 right now. I normally do not do this. These are huge lines, and usually I stay away from anything with a huge ass line. But I think some of these are slam dunks. Oklahoma minus 38.5 at Kansas. Are we gonna sit here and say Oklahoma's not gonna put up a 50 burger here, and that Kansas isn't gonna score anything?
You're probably right. 53-0.
This game is not going to be 39-0, or I guess it could be, but I just think that one's way too easy. I'm surprised they didn't slam that one up more. I'm like you're even under 40. Kansas does nothing.
Anything else?
They need to be demoted.
Anything else about Oklahoma that's going on?
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and we'll touch that for a second. Lincoln Riley said that the team is doing good and all that stuff, and all the players support each other. More specifically, talking about the 2 quarterbacks who have each other's back. Spencer Rattler unfollowed Caleb Williams on Instagram, so it doesn't quite seem that way.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone hacked his account. I don't know. That'll come out.
I bet that happened.
Just
Horrible situation. That place is just.
So what'd you say earlier? Transfer portal.
Oh yeah, calling his name, baby.
Yeah, he's going. There's no way.
Big time.
Lincoln Riley maybe just help him.
Whoever
walk
can
into it.
give him the biggest NIL deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have Pitt covering -3.5. It's at Pitt against Clemson. Clemson until you prove this is like until you prove that you can do it.
Yeah.
You know
How many points? How many points do you think they beat them by?
Touchdown at least.
Touchdown.
A touchdown at least. But I'm not going to be
I
shocked.
was leaning
if this
that
is,
way too.
I wouldn't be shocked if this is at least double digits. Pittsburgh's been rolling. Clemson is
Right.
not. Clemson's been barely getting by teams that they should be beating, beating, like spanking. And Pitt is taking care of business this year. In fact, I do believe they're leading the ACC. Or
Okay.
they're right there with what,
They're 5-1. I think they are.
North
Actually.
Carolina
Yeah,
State.
they may be leading that division.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and then I have my last bit, and this one's a big one, but I'm gonna have to ride with it. They've been doing it. They've been covering. Cincinnati -27.5 at Navy. That defense is baller.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's defense is baller. Their offense can't be stopped. I think this is, and Navy's not good.
And they're gonna have to prove every game.
Yeah, every game.
right?
So they have their foot on the gas every single game. So you better be ready for that. And I don't think 28's enough. It is 27.5. So 28, 4 touchdown win, some way, form, or facet. I'm feeling pretty confident with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got one more. Iowa losing to the bye week. And still starting Petrus when they come back.
Petrus still starting on the bye week.
Yep.
We know. Son of a bitch.
So,
Good way to get a jab.
You're welcome.
you guys must be on bye.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that dog shit team.
Going to NFL picks. I have Saints beat the Seahawks by more than 5.5. I think they get rolling here. Geno Smith. I know they played pretty decent football against Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh, we talked about defenses this year not playing up to expectations. So I think the Saints do beat the Seahawks by more. I don't think Alex Collins is going to run all over them. Raiders, I have them beating the Eagles by more than the 3. Eagles are just a bad football team right now. Raiders, we talk about them. They're kind of rolling right now, playing good. I don't see that stopping this week, and they're going to beat the Eagles by more than 3. The Rams, I have them beating the Giants. The line's 15.5. Giants banged up, not playing good football. I just see them stomping them.
100%. Well, I guess
What was the one?
Oh wait, is it? Well, sorry, maybe that was last week's. The LA Rams at Giants, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
I think you said
Okay.
Rams and the Lions.
Rams Lions.
Oh,
Same-
no, I think that was actually I typed that in the wrong spot.
I was gonna say that's probably still a lock.
But yeah, it was a lot.
what was the other
They
one you
beat 'em.
said before that?
The Raiders, they're playing Eagles this week.
Or maybe it was the first one.
Saints, beating
Yeah, no,
Seahawks.
I actually disagree. That one's going to be 5.5. I have the Seahawks. That's at home. That crowd is going to help them. And Jameis will throw this. This is the game he throws them out of the game.
5 touchdowns. The Seahawks
5
secondary is
interceptions?
dog
He's
shit,
going
dude.
crazy.
No, he's
No.
gonna have a big game.
No.
Yeah, I
Seahawks-
think he has a big game too, and they beat him
Not that
by
crowd, baby.
10 plus.
10 plus.
And then I have Dolphins beat the Falcons. They're 2.5 underdogs. Tua comeback played pretty good. It wasn't his fault they lost, right? I can see them beating the Falcons in a high scoring game.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking. There's some easy ones to knock off real quick. Everybody can jump on the Rams, destroy the Lions. The Bucks obviously will take care of the Bears. I'm with you on the Raiders. I think they're going to end up beating up the Eagles. The Eagles, their play calling's been dog shit. I don't know why they don't get Miles Sanders the ball anymore. Hurts.
They don't give any of the running backs.
Yeah.
You know, you gave me shit about the Cowboys not running the ball against Tampa. The Eagles are literally not running the ball this year.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
No.
And Sanders especially was playing so well to start the year, and then they're just like, oh, not anymore. We're just going to run Hurts out of the building.
What
Like,
he had a couple
shit.
games ago, he had like 2 rushes or something crazy like that. It was insane.
Yeah, it's just they're not giving them touches. So I think the Raiders take care of that. I've got upset picks, Titans over the Chiefs. I think the Titans are going to keep rolling. Apparently, I'm going to pick the Chiefs to get upset every week from here on out, seems like.
How'd that work for you last week?
Man.
Because I was on board and I also
Yeah.
was wrong.
Yeah.
Misinformed.
Yeah.
Whoa. Never wrong.
Never wrong.
Never
We were
wrong,
just a
baby.
little misinformed.
I don't have the Bengals to beat the Ravens, but I got them covering that -6. over there because I think they go to Baltimore, right? So it's going to be a tough divisional game.
Speaking a little bit of last week, wasn't the Washington-Kansas City game closer than what we thought?
Until
right?
the second half,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they were hanging and banging, and then that defense.
I think they
kinda
were
let 'em down.
winning maybe 17-14 at half and then didn't score again.
Yeah. After that.
So
Yep.
go ahead.
And then the last one, I think this might be an interesting conversation. I actually, last upset pick of the day, Colts over the Niners.
Well,
Jimmer,
Okay.
thoughts?
I don't know how to talk you out of your flip-flopping mind because this is what you do. I'm a Niners fan. They're going to win the division. They're the boom, 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 boom. And now you're picking them to lose.
Lose a game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another game.
Colts are playing really well.
How many losses they have?
I don't know, 3?
Yeah,
Are they
so
3-3?
that's
Yeah.
didn't you predict them to only have 3 losses?
Injuries happen, baby.
Oh my
Just like your fantasy team. You predicted your
Didn't we
fantasy
say
team
barring
to go
injury?
undefeated.
We were trying to say without injury.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you know all these injuries. We talked about it,
And every team's going through them.
Yep.
including your fantasy team.
Yeah, no, this is at their house. It doesn't matter which quarterback they even roll out there. They're coming off their bye week too.
It was
So
Garoppolo.
San- so-
Garoppolo's going to play.
Okay, it does. Like I said, to me it doesn't even matter which quarterback. I'd like to see Lance out there personally, but San Fran's going to cover that.
What's the over-under in that
They're
game?
going to win -4. I don't know what the over under is.
I think it could end up being a high-scoring game, is my point. So
I can take a look. One sec. San Francisco. The over under is 44.5. So it's not that high.
I think I'd bet the over on that. I think it's going to be a higher-scoring game.
I'd take the over. San Fran takes care of business. So Indianapolis is playing good, but they're going to the West Coast for a team that just came off a bye that has been prepping for them. So
Yeah.
I'm rolling with San Fran.
Yeah, the Colts have some injuries at receiver, but Wentz is playing
Some
is
I
good
think-
as
think they're
as I've
missing
seen
all but
him.
one.
And your boy, the second best running back on the team, is playing really well.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
Him.
I think they'll be all right. The secondary in San Francisco is not great. They're injured too. So I'm going to go ahead and take this warm whiskey wager and bring it to you on this game, Jimmer.
I have to. So let me get this straight. I have to bet on the team that he predicted was going to win the division at the
I
beginning
didn't say
of the
they were going
season.
to go
No,
undefeated.
you don't have to take it, Jimmer.
No.
That's the
You
thing.
don't have to take
No,
it.
I don't have to take it, but it's like this is easy money whiskey. I want him to collect all these at one time because I want to see Danny like fall over, and then we finish the podcast too because he's gonna be fucking bombed.
I only owe 2. So
No, you have a beer bong also.
Oh, the beer bomb. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my, whoa!
Oh yeah. So you don't even listen to the show. So
I've been trying to catch up.
So we added a beer bong bet.
Okay.
So he lost the first inaugural one.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do it. I will
Okay.
do that. -4. Or are we just doing who wins?
Wins.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Straight
All
up.
right. Straight up like a
Cool.
man. All right.
Cool.
Put that one on the
All
old
right.
docket here in a second. Is
Jimmer.
that what you got then?
Yep. Yeah, that was it.
All
So
right.
what else you got, man?
All right. So for my upset picks, a little low hanging fruit. Now I did bet this. I bet this one actually yesterday when it was still +3. But I have the Broncos covering and winning this game. Actually, it's at.
Are you sure?
It's plus
You need to
1.5.
ask Colleen to get some tips and fantasy. Or,
Evidently,
some help.
dude, she was rolling. She won like $1,300 the other night off a parlay, 2 different parlays.
Shit.
And then she called the Tennessee one, and I was on board. I thought it'd be a close game, but I was like, Bills will pull this off. Well, then I forgot that they forgot how to coach, so I didn't kick a field goal.
Right. If they just kicked a field goal and
Yeah.
won
And
it
then
in
what?
OT.
Lost in OT. Then
No, and then
Won it in OT.
and then got a touchdown in overtime, and then I would have covered and I would have won. So they cost me a lot of money. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention
And
that part.
You too, Danny.
By the way, that was a stone cold lock for all 3 of us last week. So
Yeah,
we were misinformed on that game.
we were misinformed.
Yikes.
Well, the coach misinformed us. I had the Broncos winning that game only, and this is purely and only because the Browns are so banged up. That's the only reason why I'm picking this. And if the Broncos can't win this with the banged up, I'm definitely off any version of the Broncos bandwagon of any kind. Like I'll pick them to lose every game for the rest of the season. If you can't beat the Browns with this
All banged up.
all banged up like
Yeah.
this. Their Browns' only hope is that defense, which is pretty good. We've seen
Yeah.
them ball out too. That's their only hope in this game, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
What if Case Keenum balls out and they end up somehow winning this game with all those injuries? Do you even have a deeper conversation about that Baker thing we talked about?
no, because nobody wanted to give Case that money when he came out last time, and he actually started the whole season. So you don't. They want to get. Minnesota wouldn't do it, and they needed a quarterback.
It depends on if Odell plays and goes for 230 yards, and hell yeah, this is what he's gonna say.
Well,
100%.
I'm just talking about. He's talking about like the team.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I don't think that.
I don't think they do
situation
either.
changes. But I think they said more in their actions this week about Baker and what they actually believe in him.
Yeah,
In my opinion,
Yeah,
you would
absolutely.
have been yanked like right away. This wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have went on. The only unless they came out and said this was literally strategy. Our whole time was, and we can show you the whole time we were never going to play him. Maybe something like that comes out, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Bengals, I'm taking plus 6.5 at the Ravens. I think the Ravens win this game, but I don't anything in this division unless
Tough.
I see a 3.
It's a tough game.
I like anything more than that. I'm taking the other one just because it's usually a field goal game, even when.
Right.
And the Bengals are pretty damn good. Let's not forget about that.
Even
Just
when the
'cause-
Right.
Bengals have been bad, they've kept games close.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and they're a much better team now.
I'm gonna ride the Titans train on this next one.
Let's go.
I'm taking the Titans plus 5.5 against them Chiefs. Chiefs need to prove me. I'm not saying they can't win this game. I'm not saying they're done, toast, any of that. But you know what? They haven't been covering basically all year. They haven't done it for quite a while. So I'm gonna ride the train on this one. Titans covering at least the 5.5. My Stone Cold locks. I must be on a big spread type of week, like feeling it. I had the Bucks covering 12.5 against the Bears. That's at Tampa Bay.
Yep.
I feel pretty comfortable with that, but
Definitely.
we already talked about the other one. I have 49ers covering 4 against Indy at the Niners. And then I have the Rams covering 15.5 against the Lions. I can't believe it's that low,
Yeah.
especially after the coach went out and criticized the revenge isn't going to be so sweet for Jared Goff in this game.
No.
So we were all on point with that one. We all think the Rams are going to beat the crap out of the Lions, right?
Stafford is going to throw
So-
7 touchdowns
So
or something.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we are, but he just pointed out just a little bit ago they didn't fare well when we were all on board too.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
But yeah,
wait.
I don't.
I'm still on.
shit.
I do not see any way that this game is close.
No.
The way he's been playing, that defense is it's only a 2-headed monster for the most part with a bunch of other pieces, but they're pretty fucking dominant pieces.
Yeah.
And it's in LA. Lions are looking really dysfunctional.
Right.
You know?
They lost. Sorry, they lost, just taking the life out of them, right? Close game after close game,
Yeah.
and then they get smashed by the Bengals, and I think it just continues. I think their will to play football has almost been beaten out of them, right? Especially after those close losses.
And I don't think Goff is the kind of quarterback that responds well to what the coach said. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
he's
he
going to
calls
be the
him
opposite.
out.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep. So when I was looking over the games, I was looking over the spreads. The one thing I was looking over, especially when it came to the NFL games, the ones we called out basically were the only ones that I really felt comfortable with. Even on some of your guys' outside, I mean, we flip flopped a little bit on which ones we liked, which team and to cover and stuff. But all the rest, I think they had the spread like square on the nuts. It was hard to try to even dig any more out of them. I'm like, I think I'm gonna stay away from that. Maybe you get more into the player props or something like that. But
Yep.
the over-unders and all that stuff, maybe, but not the spreads are looking like what they should be, I think, for the rest of them.
We're
Right.
starting to figure out who teams are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. That's the same thing when it goes for Vegas when they're picking their spread, too. They're all right. We're starting to see our trends more and how teams are.
Right. Well, we
taking care of
talked about it
business.
earlier in the season, right? We're like, man, that's way too close. What the heck? I think we're finally figuring out, okay, who's scoring this, who's not. Giants injury bug. So
I got one more thing before we start wrapping it up. It's been it was brought up a few different sports places so far in conversation. The umping in Major League Baseball, especially during this postseason. The conversation of using electronic umping.
yeah, I felt over the years officials more and more just want to almost just get themselves involved for no fucking reason, right?
Yeah.
And inject themselves into a play when they don't have to.
Yeah.
And it just has become the normal almost these days. And, umping is a hard thing to do for baseball, more elevated on consequences-wise, if you miss a call. And I don't know. I've heard about the robot thing, and I've been back and forth.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. I've been back and
That's not
forth.
the
I
game.
get it, but exactly. It's not the game that if you're a baseball enthusiast that you come to know and love and like and
any sport. Like
exactly.
You take everything out of it. I'm like,
but it takes a part of the game away, right? So I don't know if you know, but framing for a catcher, right? One of the I believe it was the Dodgers catcher. Perfect job framing. Ball was a little outside, and just the way he snapped, Collins, he was getting that outside corner.
Exactly.
And that is if you like it or not, exactly. Like it or not, it is part of the game.
I don't even know if you should be able to even say that you don't like it, because if you are a baseball enthusiast, especially if you have a kid that grows up doing it, this is what they're trained to do.
Right.
This is what you train them to do. The other teams, like, yes, you're a fan of the team that just lost or had that strike called against you. Guess what? Your catcher did the same thing.
Yeah, at one point or another.
Yeah,
catcher did the same thing.
And it's literally part of the game. So I think they need to do a little bit. They need to pound more into these umps, in my opinion. They need to pound more into their heads about you're not a part of the game, as in you don't need to. You shouldn't even be noticed. Get better at your job. This isn't like you trying to make something out of yourself. Umps are supposed to be a part of the field. I don't know if you guys know that, especially in like football. Like if a player runs into an ump, it doesn't matter. You tripped on the turf then.
Yeah.
You're part of the field.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what it is. It's part of the game, and you need that. Maybe they need to have a sit down and a discussion with these umps. Like, hey, you need to tighten this shit up. You need to be better at your job or train them better or whatever. But going to electronic is not the way to go, in my opinion.
Definitely agree.
Yeah. We go back the last series, the Giants and Dodgers, that check swing call, horrible. He did not break, right? Man, just horrible. I think you should be able to challenge there. You can't there, so that sucks. But a horrible way to end the series. A great series going on, but no, I don't think you go to robots at all.
No. Well, even cameras, because if you can replay everything, we just put it all out. So that's the reason why I have to say, like, you shouldn't be able to do even the check swing one. That sucks. I mean, trust me, if you're the Dodgers fan or the Giants fan, that sucks.
I think you should be able to challenge, like a runner safe.
Maybe that, but I'm talking about on a swing. Now we're getting tedious. Like, hold on, it's a bad angle. That wasn't a bad call. And
it was a horrible call.
No, it wasn't.
If you look down the first base line, there's no way you could even say
you could on a normal live action. Yes, you could from the angle he had. That wasn't a great angle he had, and then he pointed down there. Now, if you had someone literally overlooking the plate like this, pointing literally right at it like that, then yes, you could say it's a horrible call. But from the angle he had, he went on it and he still came around. Don't swing at the damn ball then.
I don't know.
Don't even give it. I tell my son this all the time. If you're going to swing, then swing to mean it. Because it wasn't that far off anway. The pitch wasn't that far off, regardless.
Right.
I don't know. When I looked and they were showing, behind the pitcher, I was like, oh, didn't swing. And then they appeal down. It's like strike. I was like, what?
But he didn't hesitate either. This wasn't a conversation. So he thought he saw what he saw, which that one didn't bug me as much. That ball wasn't that far off in the very first place. You shouldn't have been swinging. That's your own fault. So we're talking, that series was, they both had great seasons, right? Both over 100 wins, a great series in general, and then what is everyone talking about? A check swing.
But the problem is that's not even the one to call out. It didn't decide the game.
No.
There were still more pitches after that. There was still more opportunity to potentially win the game. So it didn't decide the game.
Right.
And I like what you said about he was decisive with that, right?
Right.
So the worst
What do you
thing,
mean? That was the very last call of the game, the series.
That check swing?
Yeah. That was the very last call of the series.
It was.
I thought, am I thinking of a different one earlier then?
You must be, yeah. It was the very last one.
That one was quite literally the last one. That's why it was such a big deal.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, then disregard. I thought maybe I'm thinking of an earlier one. I like the decisive piece, though. Like, the worst thing for me if I'm thinking about football, for example, is there's a pass down the field and there's no flag, but the guy complains,
And
then all
then
of
a
a sudden
flag.
they're like, okay, yeah, we'll go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Now I seen it.
Like,
Yep.
no.
He was
Right, you
decisive.
got to make the call.
He was
Yeah.
decisive
And back
in
it.
what he
Yep.
thought he saw, and he made it quick. He didn't sit there and debate it.
Mm-hmm.
If you look down, the camera pans down.
Yeah, and he
Once they
immediately
do it, and
just
he goes like this. That's what it
immediately.
is.
Yep.
Like, and if you go in real time, it wasn't that far off. It didn't look like it was that far off. When you slow it down, yes, 100%.
I don't know. When I seen it from the straight camera angle, I was like, oh, he didn't go. And then I was sitting there. I think French was my runner. I was like, oh, check swing. And yeah, they call down. I'm like, what? And they show it, and obviously it gets worse in slow mo. But yeah, I don't know. But no robots. I think you just taken away from the field of game and the authenticity.
The play hurts. It sucks. That it went against you at the end of the day. But you don't like overreact and go get something like that. You better train yourself. It still comes back to better training. Don't swing at that ball if you thought it was out in the first place. Not even a check swing. And the ball wasn't that far off. You should have just swung through. I tell my son the same. I'm not telling you something that I don't tell my own son. If you're going to swing, swing. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop halfway in between it, because now you're putting the play into the ump's hands anyways. Like on a strike ball, like this ump has been all over the place. You've seen plenty of the travel ball. Some of these umps are all over the place.
Yep.
I tell my son, do not put it in the ump's hands. If you've seen your whole lineup go through, you've seen how he kind of calls strikes and it's outside. Don't give him a shot then. Put it out there, then that's where you're supposed to be going at, because he's going to call it evidently, or he could call it. Don't leave it on your third strike like I'm going to leave it up to the ump and it's outside. Nope.
Yeah.
Battle it off. Train them better. That's my point.
Yeah, definitely. Keep it out of their hands if you can. How crazy though to end like that. Those two teams were so fucking evenly matched.
Yeah.
Insane.
Crazy. Bad ending. It sucks as a fan, but
rivalry.
it happens.
The rivalry like that. People have literally died in the parking lot in the past between these two. You know that, right? So, and the way that went down.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Well, all right. We can start to wrap it up. Do either of you boys have a segment of the show?
My man's does over here. I know he does.
Here we go.
He had an interesting week this week.
I have
so
had
and it's not even over.
week, and yeah, it's not over. So makes sense if you don't think about it, right? This is happened to me this week, and as soon as it happened, I think I replied to you on Facebook. I said that's my first thought. So we're in a room and we're making some product, and the guy, he makes some little mistake before this, and he's mixing up another blend. He's like, well, I'm going to mix it up, and we have to test another batch of product we're making, right? And it's called a mixer, and the door has to shut, and you can hear it shut, and it tells you on the screen, right, if the door shuts or not. So I'm standing there, and I'm at the end of the conveyor where pallets roll out, and I look up, and you can see the door, and you can see it has a little thing. You can tell if it's open or not. And I can see it open like 4 or 5 inches, and I go, and I call over to this guy who's working with me, and I go, hey, what the fuck? And I point up there, because the door's supposed to be closed if he's making a blend, right? And he's like, oh, well, there was no alarm that said it was.
If only there was an alarm.
Yeah, he's like, I never got an alarm or seen an alarm for that. Never gave me one. Okay, I look over at the screen, right, that you touch to mix and open the door and stuff like that. The alarm is literally still there at the top. The door's in red, meaning it didn't close. And the alarm is also in red, like clearly visible. You can see it right away. That's where your eyes are drawn, right, to the redness. And I go, yeah? Well, it's right here.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Makes
sense.
sense.
Don't think about
if you don't think about it.
Oh, man.
If only it had an alarm. You mean that one right there?
Yeah.
No shit.
No shit, guy. Like,
it was definitely a rough day in general.
Oh,
but
my goodness. Yes, yeah. Just a rough day.
Because there was a rough one earlier on in that same one, too. So that was a cake.
That was just kind of icing on the cake. I did have something else funny happen to me this week. I was driving, and I whipped onto this road as I was trying to go find this place for these at work. I had to do COVID tests, whatever. But I whipped on this road in Mason, right? And road's closed, boom. But I didn't see it beforehand, and they're working on it. There's a couple construction workers like standing around at the start of the street. I whip in, I'm like, oh crap. So I'm like waiting a second because I'm gonna have to back out. And there's barricades, right? Right there, boom, and it says road closed.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I gotta find a way around. And I'm waiting to back up, and a guy turns around, construction worker turns around, and like walks toward my truck. So I'm like, I roll my window down. He goes, "Hey, road's closed." And without, like, I didn't mean to say it, it just naturally come out. I was like, "No fucking shit."
Jesus.
Yes.
No fucking shit.
I wasn't trying to be mean, but it was just like, oh man, it just made me laugh. So yeah, I've had a funny week this week.
Damn.
A few things happened to me that kind of make you laugh.
That's awesome.
He just looked at me and like, yeah, I can read, obviously.
Right.
Hey, in the barricades that
it's
say,
like
do
literally
not
right
pass.
there. Do not
right?
pass. It's closed. Yeah.
Yeah.
No fucking shit.
So yeah, that's kind of.
It's called a wrench, dumbass. God.
So a little humor there for all of you.
It's been one of those weeks. Damn.
That it has.
Well, all right. We'll go ahead and wrap her up today. Per the usual, follow us. Make some comments, social media, shit like that.
We had a couple topics today. You know, go ahead and give us your opinion and reach out.
Yeah, if you comment, just remember 13 for 13 up to that point on the Bills game. Just go ahead and think about that.
And that nobody goes 100%. Remember that.
My partners are misinformed on this one. But
Yeah,
hit us up. Let us know. Thanks for listening.
Especially our guy from Hesse, Germany. Still
Yeah,
need
Hesse,
one.
Germany,
Still
baby.
need it. Let's go, baby.
Big shout out.
Yeah, big shout out to you. And thanks again for listening. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.